in a quiet little village, nestled between green hills and sparkling rivers,
lived a boy named Toby. He was kind, curious, and always dreamed of big adventure.
But his village was small, and nothing exciting ever seemed to happen. Every day, Toby helped his grandmother at the market, listening with wide eyes to the stories of travelers' staleys of dragons, castles, and far-off magic lands. He'd often sigh, if only something magical would happen to me. One chilly morning, while gathering firewood deep in the forest, Toby noticed something strange. A trail of tiny smoke clouds was puffing out from behind a bush. Curiosity piqued. He peeked behind it, and his jaw dropped. Curled up between the leaves was a tiny dragon, no bigger than a kitten. It had bright green scales, golden eyes, and little wings that shimmered in the sunlight. "Whoa!" Toby gasped. "A real dragon?"
The tiny creature sneezed puff, and a small spark shot from its nose.
"Ouch!" the dragon squeaked in a tiny voice. "Careful! You almost stepped on my tail." Toby jumped back, his eyes wide with disbelief. "You can talk?" "Of course I can talk," the dragon said proudly, puffing out its chest. "I'm Ember, a fire dragon. Or I was supposed to be." Toby
knelt down, his heart softening.
"What do you mean, supposed to be?" Ember let out a sigh, and a sad wisp of smoke floated up. "My fire magic, it doesn't work right. When I try to breathe fire, it just—" My family flew away to the Dragon Mountains, and I got left behind. Toby couldn't stand to see him so sad. "That's awful." "You must be freezing out here." Ember nodded. "I tried to build a nest, but without fire I can't keep warm." A big smile spread across Toby's face. "Then you can stay with me. My grandma will never believe this, but she makes the best soup in the world. You'll love it." Ember's golden eyes brightened. "Really? You'd help a dragon?" Toby grinned. "Of course. You're my new friend, now." That evening, Toby snuck Ember into his cottage, hiding him in a cozy basket by the fireplace. His grandmother, busy with her soup, didn't notice a thing. Once she was asleep, Toby whispered, "You can sleep by the fire. It's warm here." Ember curled up on a blanket, letting out a soft purr. For the first time in days, he wasn't cold. Over the next few weeks, Toby and Ember became the best of friends. Toby shared his meals, bits of bread, tiny fish, and drops of honey, which Ember absolutely loved. He even made Ember a small scarf from an old sock to keep him extra warm. Their days were filled with secret games and quiet companionship. But one morning, their peaceful routine was shattered. While fetching water, Toby saw thick, dark smoke rising from the forest. "Not the good kind." "Fire!" he gasped.
He dropped his buckets and ran toward the blaze. His heart sank when he saw it.
A huge fire was raging near the edge of the woods, and a group of villagers were struggling to put it out. "The forest is burning," one man shouted. "We can't stop it!" A horrifying thought struck Toby. If the fire reached the village, everyone would be in danger, and Ember was still at home, alone. Toby rushed home, his heart pounding. "Ember! The forest is on fire," he said, his voice trembling. "I have to help, but the fire's too big for the villagers." Ember's tiny wings drooped. "But I can't breathe real fire, remember? I'll just sneeze. Toby knelt stone, looking his friend right in the eye. You're still a dragon. Maybe your magic just needs a real reason to wake up. I know you can do this, Ember.
The little dragon took a deep, shaky breath.
Okay, he whispered, finding courage in his friend's voice.
Let's try. Toby carefully wrapped Ember in his scarf and ran back to the forest.
The heat was intense, and the villagers had been forced to beg away. Get back and shouted, "It's too dangerous!"
But Toby stood his ground. "Trust me," he yelled.
"I've got help!" He set Ember down on a large rock. The tiny dragon stared at the roaring inferno, his eyes glowing like molten gold.
"This is it," Ember whispered, a strange power building inside him.
"I can feel it." He inhaled deeply in peacetime instead of a sneeze. He let out a mighty roar. A stream of cool, brilliant blue fire shot from his mouth, swirling through the air like a magical river. Wherever the blue flames touched, the raging orange fire vanished, leaving behind only soft smoke and mist. The villagers stared in absolute awe. "A dragon!" one gasped. Ember didn't stop. He kept breathing his amazing blue fire until the last angry flame was gone. Then, completely exhausted, he flopped onto the ground. But he was smiling. Toby scooped him up in a hug. "You did it, Ember. You really did it." The villagers gathered around, their faces full of wonder and gratitude. "That tiny dragon saved us," said one.
"He saved the whole forest," laughed another in disbelief.
That night,
The village held a huge feast to celebrate their small but mighty hero.
Toby sat proudly with Ember on his shoulder, sharing roasted fish and bread. The village elder stood and raised his cup. "This boy showed courage, and this dragon showed heart. Together, they saved us all." Everyone cheered.
Ember blushed, and a few happy little sparks flew from his nose.
Toby whispered to him, "See, you're not just a dragon, you're my best friend." Ember smiled. "And you're the bravest human I've ever met." A few days later, a shadow passed over the village. 3 large, magnificent dragons were soaring through the sky. Ember's eyes widened. "My family!" The biggest dragon landed gently and lowered her head. "Ember, we've been looking everywhere for you." Toby's heart sank. He knew what this meant. "So, you're leaving?" Ember nodded softly. His eyes filled with love for his friend. "I have to go home, Toby. But I'll never ever forget you." He fluttered up to Toby's shoulder one last time. "Thank you for believing in me." Toby smiled through his tears. "You'll always have a home here and a friend. with a flash of his blue glowing wings.
Ember took off, rejoining his family in the clouds and flying toward the distant mountains.
As Toby watched them disappear, a single warm sparkle of blue fire floated down and landed in his palm. It was a tiny glowing dragon scale. He carefully tied it around his neck like a pendant, a reminder of his incredible friend. He whispered to the sky, "Goodbye, Ember, until we meet again." This story teaches us that true friendship is all about believing in each other, especially when no one else does. And it shows that sometimes the smallest creatures are capable of doing the biggest, most wonderful things. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed Toby and Ember's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more heartwarming stories. See you next time!